getting some sausages happening?
My kid asked me, you know that movie, The Incredibles?
Yes.
These people have superpowers, and my son asked me, hey, Dad, is there really such a thing as superpowers? And I'm like, jiu-jitsu.
It's definitely a superpower.
It's a superpower, you know? And if you remember the days before anybody knew it, if you knew a little tiny bit, man, you were just no one could stop you. It was awesome.
What year did you start?
It was 92 or 93.
Damn, you got in early.
I got in early. Luckily, I had a
pre-UFC.
Yep, we knew when we watched that first UFC. We all knew. Well, there was 3 or 4 of us that knew that Royce Gracie was going to win.
Royce.
Every scrap I'd get into, you know, I'd just force someone into the rear naked choke or force them into, but they had no idea what was happening. So it was actually amazing. But again, I thought at that time that was jiu-jitsu. Like there was this finite thing.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, and then you realize, you know, that it's completely unending and it changes every day.
There's no end. Jiu-jitsu doesn't end.
Yeah.
It goes on forever. Like you can always get better. It's not something until you achieve the speed of light.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's another great thing about jiu-jitsu is because it, like combat, it reflects life. And if the day you start saying that you're good to go, like in a leadership position or whatever task you're working on, the day you say, I've learned everything there is to learn about this, is the day you start to lose. And I know that humility is something that you have to keep yourself in check because, again, I got asked the other day, you know, when were you at, you know, when was your high point of leadership? And I'm like, I never had a high point of leadership. I was always trying to learn. I was always trying to figure out what I was doing wrong and what mistakes I was making. Because if you don't do that, that's something I learned from jiu-jitsu. You know, if you don't do that, then you're going to get passed by and other people are going to figure some new way of doing it and you're going to be left in the dark.
yeah, as much as I like to use like the term "that was perfect," there really is nothing perfect in human beings. There's always room for improvement. There's always a shorter path. There's always a quicker victory. There's always always new things to learn. And as soon as you start thinking that you've mastered something to the point of an end, like you kind of missed out what it's all about in the first place. It's all about, you're constantly uncomfortable. You're supposed to be constantly uncomfortable. And then in these little victories that you get, the good thing about when people tap, you get, I get a little nice feeling right here.
Yeah.
I get,
and then they're like, let's go again.
The point is that it's a long path, a long, arduous path. And I think anything that's worth doing is probably like that.
There's no doubt about it, and that's another piece again, another place where jiu-jitsu is like life.
I know you had some hard fun today.
You think at some point you think you know, like you think you're good, you think you're doing pretty good, and then you just get smacked.